Again for County Commissioner now.
Yes.
For anybody who doesn't know who you are, I'm sure that most people do, but
Yep.
maybe if you want to talk about yourself a little bit.
Well, I'm Randy Dahl. I live on Aspen Road in rural Norway Township and District 2 County Commissioner, and I'm running for that office. And I have a wife and 3 kids. Christian's 26. Aaron's 22 and Chaz is 14, and he was in the Peterson Middle School. Now he's in the Rushford High School this year. And also through the years we've had 14 foster children that have stayed at our home for varying lengths of time. And my mom and dad are Truman and Pat Dahl, and grew up in the Rushford area. And
So now, you've been County Commissioner this past term.
Yep, 9 years and however many months, 9 months about. Yep.
Okay, and do you want to maybe talk about some things that you've worked on over the past 9 years and so many months?
Sure. Well, that's a big area. I guess some of the highlights that are in there, of course, are the courthouse remodeling, and just recently part of one of the ongoing things from that was refinancing the bond. Just recently for a savings about $100,000 on what's left on that, and a lot of things like that that aren't maybe real exciting, but are the nuts and bolts of county government. Obviously, the highlight of probably anybody's career is when you have a city that's washed away by a flood. I don't know if I'd call that a highlight more than an extreme challenge. Many meetings. We had, it taught me a lot of lessons about what people are capable of, and just very proud of the local people and how they all came together for that. It just kind of makes you proud to be part of that whole organization and just the citizenry. You know, that when it seems like around here, some of the most memorable times of my life is when your church group gets together to help somebody who's sick, or all the neighbors get together to help someone do their farm work, that they have a health problem or they're injured in an accident. Everybody comes together and works together. My biggest concern out of all that is the number of people out of that whose lives were turned upside down, and the tragedy of that. The number of people who were elderly and who were living in a paid-for house and now have a 30-year mortgage. It was just really traumatic for a lot of people, and I was glad the county could be a part of that and helping. And as part of the county commissioner, I'm on the SIMCAC board, and SIMCAC stepped up and did a lot of work also with that. Highlights, current highlight has to be the potential to get a National Veterans Cemetery here in Fillmore County. I just think it would be such an honor for the citizens of Fillmore County to participate in such a significant way to honor the veterans. You know, so many of them have given everything to serve their country, and things like that. It really encourages you when, you know, a lot of times we have meetings at Fillmore County, and I guess it's a sign that you're doing things right. There's not much controversy, and but when we started this thing with the Veterans Cemetery, the people really came out of the woodwork to support it. I haven't met a single person who's had a negative thing to say about it. And the veterans groups have really stepped up and supported it. You know, resolutions from all the city councils in support of it. it really affirms that you're doing something right, you know, when people have such a positive response.
On another subject, because there's a lot of what you're contending with county government is managing a pretty significant budget.
Yeah.
With LGA funding getting cut and you know, pretty much a good indication that that's just gonna, you know, that momentum is gonna continue in that same direction for Fillmore County as a whole, each of the individual communities in addition to the county. I want to say it was somewhere around $800,000 and $900,000 is how much LGA funding the county had.
Yeah.
That 828,000, I believe, something like that.
Yeah. I think our county budget's about $1 million less this year than last year.
And so I guess with you know, you've got growing expenses with healthcare, you've got all those things to consider. Obviously, people are going to want increases in wages. How are you guys going to contend with that? I mean, how do you see the direction of, you know, what needs to be done to be able to continue to provide the services, but yet manage within the means?
I guess what we've done in the past is when positions come open, there's a real scrutiny on refilling the positions, and we've had we haven't laid anybody off, which I think shows a dedication to your employees. But for the taxpayers, everything falls on property taxes. School districts, townships, counties, that's all we have is property tax. And the state pretty much has really hamstrung the school districts. They just have the increased additional levy that they can operate with. I don't know how they're going to do it. The county, there's two parts of the problem. Reduced redundancy in equipment. We haven't bought any trucks in about 3 years. We do maintain them for the safety of our employees, obviously, but they break down more often when you don't replace them, and so that affects service to the people who, if my tractor breaks and I can't plow my driveway, it's just me. If a snowplow breaks, it could be a 2-hour delay getting another truck there to get that road plowed, and so you have decreased efficiency. Obviously, it will be fixed, and in the long run, it might be cheaper to keep fixing old trucks, but you have decreased service. And that's the hard choices you make. You know, we haven't, hopefully if things come through, we'll be able to buy a truck there. The biggest concern is, you mentioned healthcare and all the other things. The county, for the most part, runs eligibility qualifications for state programs and services. Sometimes the state shifts small percentages of that. Our social service budget, they manage the expenditure of about $32 million, which is huge. We match that with about $1.2 to $1.3 million of county levy money in those programs and for employees and computers and other things. A 1% cost shift can mean a $300,000 shift to us. And so on a $1.2 million levy that we levy for those services, $300,000 is like a, you know, what is it, 25% increase in the levy to the taxpayers. So it's very challenging. And so you just are constantly looking for efficiencies, and that's part of our redesign program. We just recently consolidated public health, social services, and veterans under that one umbrella. And we're just looking for efficiencies. We just recently approved the expenditure for an updated phone system. It's a large expenditure, but hopefully it'll be part of increased savings, where you allow your employees to work different ways so they can actually be more productive. You're just constantly looking for things like that. But eventually those things will run out of the ability to do those efficient